Very good evening, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be back again. And today we talk of travel insurance. To me, this is very, very critical, and that is why I spoke to my team that we should discuss this. Because if I look at it, uh, if I'm traveling for about 4 days or so, the premium for travel insurance is close to 500 rupees. Now, imagine we are spending thousands, if not lakhs of rupees, to go to a good destination. And we don't spend just 500 rupees to cover ourselves against unforeseen circumstances. Do we ever realize that when we're traveling, we don't have the support system of a family, of a people, or somebody close to us? We are in unknown destinations with a lot of strangers. Who is there next to us if things go wrong? And that too for such a small amount of money which could be covered. And this is a big, how would I say, a big question to myself, that why is travel insurance not being taken by everybody? If you look at it generally, and if you look at your own self, your travel insurance would have got done by your travel agent, and that too for a Schengen visa. Because it is mandatory for some visas to have a travel insurance, your travel insurance gets done. In places where it is not mandatory, none of us even bother about it. Travel insurance should not be taken because of visa requirement. It should be taken because a friend for you if things go wrong, unplanned, in a strange country, in a strange world, with no people who are close to us. So today we have for you Ms. Vidya Salve, who is part of our health and travel team in our head office, and she has been part of the company for many years. Most of travel innovations, policy that you see has been done by her, and she'll be very happy to answer your questions as we go along. But do ask and do think, why don't we have a travel insurance every time when we travel abroad? So I'll move on, start taking some questions from you. Do you want to say something, Ms. Salve, to our people who are listening to us?
So thank you very much for the kind words, and it's always a pleasure to be on screen with you. Yeah, travel insurance, as you rightly said, is an untapped market today, and not many travelers traveling overseas have this as an advantage. But what I would like to suggest today to all of you watching us is to have a travel insurance on your checklist while you plan your travel, because it's an investment at the end of the day. Thank you.
Yeah, but I think the first question which has come from Annie, and it is in Facebook. She has asked a very relevant question. She says, "Do I need travel insurance for domestic trips?" So I think most time when we think of travel insurance, only when we're traveling abroad. So, what's your view on this?
So without doubt, if you're traveling domestic or you're traveling international, it doesn't really matter. You have to have the travel insurance advantage because it covers for a whole lot of things, like not only your medical expenses, but other travel eventualities like your trip delays or your loss of checked-in baggage or even the laptops that you carry along with you. In case you happen to lose this, there's an insurance coverage that we provide.
If I'm not wrong, you also have a domestic trip which costs less than 100 rupees.
So you wouldn't believe, we have a cover that starts from rupee 1.
1 rupee
Yes.
for domestic trip cover,
For domestic trip cover.
and we travel without a trip cover. Wow, I think people don't talk about this. But I have a lot of friends whom I tell them, why do you not take an insurance? And I tell them the cost of insuring themselves. The only thing they say, nobody told us. And that's why making it a point again and again that the cost of having a domestic trip, travel trip covered is at times just 1 rupee, and it's less than 100 rupees. Now, that is something which we can never miss. So, but let's say if I want to insure myself and I'm traveling, even domestic, forget about the international, how fast can I get a cover, and what is the best way that I should look into getting a cover, which I can get immediately on the go?
So maybe it may just take you a minute. You just have to download our insurance wallet and get insured. That's it, in about 3 clicks.
3 clicks, okay.
Yes.
How do I download the insurance wallet?
So you just have to go to your app store and download the insurance wallet, which is of Bajaj Allianz, and everything is available out there to ensure that we make the customer's journey very, very easy.
So,
And not only in terms of buying insurance, but the post-sale service, the claims are also enabled there.
on the app, so I
On
can
the
lodge
app.
a claim on the app also?
Yes, you can.
Oh, that's interesting. So what Ms. Salve is saying that I can buy a policy on the app, I can lodge a claim on the app. I remember once I had a challenge to my team. And the challenge was that if I look at the industry, as an industry we pay a huge amount of claims, and the combined ratio of the industry is over 100. While I ask a man on the street, and he says insurance companies don't pay claims. There's a huge contradiction. The industry is paying huge amount of claims, while the perception of the man on the street is that the insurance companies don't pay claims. And I was thinking, why is this so? And when I thought about it, I realized that the process of paying claims is so cumbersome that the person feels that the company doesn't want to pay claims. If you can cut down the process to make it simple, then this perception about the industry would change. So the challenge I gave my team was that can we pay claims even if the customer realizes he has a claim? That is one extreme which I mentioned, and I thought that if I give a difficult situation, they will come back with something better, but not extreme. The travel team came out with a claim settlement procedure using blockchain that if you travel international and if you have a trip delay which is covered, then actually you would get a message saying that you have triggered a claim for trip delay, would you want the money? Anywhere in the world, you say yes, and they would pay money to you. And I was very impressed with the team on this, because that is the way forward. We have to cut down the lengthy procedure of claims to be able to get to the pleasure of not being serviced as a customer from an insurance company. And that is when the industry's image would change. So I move on to the next question, which I have from Kundan Kumar, again on Facebook. Does it cover all sort of travel, domestic, international? Also, does it cover all categories of traveling, apart from airlines like bus and railway traveling?
Yeah, so we primarily have insurance for all modes of transport, maybe an e-cab, maybe a train, maybe a aircraft, or anything that you would travel with. Even your cycling that you take up for expeditions, even that is covered in the domestic.
So if I'm cycling, even that's covered in travel insurance, is it?
Right. Any movement that you do primarily is travel for us.
Exceptional. Now, Nupur is asking as a question that if I'm a victim of robbery during travels, does travel insurance cover my losses?
Yes, it does. Like if you're robbed of your say passport and you don't know what to do, there is an insurance cover which provides expenses incurred in getting a new passport, and we even facilitate the services to ensure that you get your passport in time so that you reach your home country soon. So in addition to that, in addition to that, when the robbery happens and I'm supposing you happen to, experience some medical emergency, even that's covered under insurance.
No, I think when you look at it from a coverage perspective, it looks very mechanical. No, we say that this is covered, this is covered. But let's look at it from an emotional perspective. Let's say a robbery happens and now I'm out of cash. I have nothing with me. And I'm stuck in a country, in a city in which I know no one. What would I do then? My belief is, if you have a Allianz travel policy, they can take care of it. Do you agree or disagree?
So you brought up a very interesting point, and I would like to stress upon this cover that we have, which is called an emergency cash advance. When if you happen to lose your wallet and left with no money, what we would do is, get in touch with your relatives in India, collect the cash, and ensure that it reaches you in no time.
Yeah, and that is where I can again come back and be safe. And this is why I precisely keep on mentioning that when you look at an insurance cover, it's not only about what money you get paid. At times, it's about situations in which nobody else can bail you out, and that is where insurance companies can play a big role. I had a very important and a very good friend. I still have him, and he is one of the big industrialists in the country. So I was trying to sell him a policy because they were doing a trek to one of these mountains, and he said, "No, Tapan, whatever limit you have, I think that is for me not a very big amount for which I have to get insured." And I told him, it's not about the money. If things go wrong, it's about services that we offer that you require. So I insist you buy this policy, and God hopes that nothing goes wrong. And he and his wife, and they were trekking, his wife had medical emergency, and because of our network and we have this evacuation happening, we could get her back safe, and she could live because we could do that. It is not about the money also, it's just that you have to think about that. What do you think about it? Do you provide this, what I exactly told about my friend, in terms of services? When do you provide medical evacuation and how does it work out?
So in case of any life-threatening situation that you have to face while you're traveling, we are always there present to ensure your safety or the customer's safety. And we can fly you by a commercial plane with a medical escort, or we can even fly a helicopter with a fully equipped ambulance to make sure you reach your country in safe hands.
So then do you realize it's not only about the money that you're talking about, it's about getting stuck in a situation where you have no one to look to, and we have the entire industry in a way that they are the first who can help you out from a difficult situation. There's one more question which I keep on getting, is that if I remember, personal accident policy does not cover adventure sport, the PA policy. And if I look at now, most of us when we travel, the first thing we want to do is some adventure sport.
Right.
Now, will Brazilian's policy cover if something goes wrong while I'm having some adventure sport or doing a bungee jump, or what would your stand be?
So yeah, it's a big S. We do cover adventure sports, provided you get done with this adventure sports under professional supervision. In that scenario, it's covered.
Yeah, I'm not going for a suicidal mission. I'll definitely have a professional supervision. I do that. We have Malvika Nair on Facebook asking that apart from regular coverages, that is passport, baggage, accident, is there any unique cover that is available in this travel insurance?
Yeah, so our products are primarily a culmination of our CEO's vision, to give customers what they want. So travel insurance is just not about, covering your accidental emergencies or loss of checked-in baggage. It even covers your trip delays, your trip cancellations, your curtailments. We have a big segment that we cater to, is called the students insurance, wherein we even cover for their tuition fees in case they fall sick, or we even pay for, the exigencies that the sponsor might have, and he may have to pay the semester fees himself.
And I also saw one cover that you provide is the hole-in-one in golf. So.
Oh yes, if you were lucky, if any of our customers get lucky in having this, we would pay for a celebration. So go ahead and play golf.
Yeah, and get a hole-in-one so that
Yes.
the celebration is taken care of. So we are part of the celebration also. Okay, now I have a question from Sana Mehra from Facebook, where she says that why should I choose Bajik for travel insurance? Sana, on this, let me put a simple point. First and foremost, choose a travel insurance. I think that is something which is very critical. Choose insurance, be well covered. If you choose Bajik, we will serve you very well. And we'll be very honored to have you as a customer. And that is what would be there, because we're obsessed about providing the best of services to our customers. But I would not go that you only choose Bajik. If you like some other company, you like some other product, please go ahead to that. The only message I want to give is, as a hardcore insurer, please be insured. Please take a cover every time you travel. It doesn't cost much. It's an insignificant amount of money to your total expenses incurred. But if things go wrong, the kind of value, the kind of support that the insurance company provides is immense. And if you choose Bajaj Allianz, we'll be very happy to serve you. We move on to the next, which Deepak Shah asks from Twitter, for which country travel insurance is mandatory?
So it's mandatory for Schengen member states, wherein they want a policy cover without any sub-limits. And we are even listed on the Schengen embassy as one of the preferred providers of insurance there. The rest of the countries do not mandate that, but we as insurers and we as responsible citizens of the society should be having travel insurance while we travel.
Yeah, but let me add to that. I would say for every country is mandatory, from our perspective. Don't forget the point which I was trying to bring in. Why only get an insurance done for visa requirement? Insurance should be done because it comes in handy when you require the most. It is there for you. Look at the covers, take the best combinations, be very well covered, and that is an earnest request which I feel is very essential for all of us. Zeal from Facebook is asking the question, what is the minimum age for travel insurance?
So we have covers starting from day zero, and it could go up to 111 years. That's the spectrum that we have. But as a proposer, you have to complete at the age of 18.
Hina is asking that, do I need to get travel insurance every person when I'm traveling in a group, or will one policy cover everyone?
No, you individually, each traveler will have to buy insurance. We also have something called as group insurance. If you're traveling in a group of more than 7, then this can be provided. But the sum insureds are individualized. They are not on floater basis.
And a very interesting question from Raj, and he says, I always buy, and he's on Facebook, Raj Vaishnav. He says, I always buy insurance when I'm traveling international. Is it okay if I don't do that for domestic travels then? No. Travel insurance covers the trip. So if you have taken a travel cover for travel cover, please do that for domestic also. You understand the need of insurance. It's good to be insured, no? So do that for wherever you travel, have a cover. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't cost much. It is insignificant.
So I think we need to congratulate him for buying insurance every time he travels.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear this, Raj. Please continue doing so. No, in fact, if I meet you somewhere, I think I'll thank you personally for doing this. I think I always like people who see insurance as something is very essential for them and do that. So I think what you said right, Ms. Alvay. So we move to Deepak. Are there any countries that are not covered under travel insurance?
Oh yes, there are some countries that we say, we will not provide travel insurance, and those are the countries where even travel isn't safe.
That's an interesting point. It's very good. Then I have from Sujoy in Facebook. I've heard about help desks via missed call in other countries. Does Allianz offer such a facility? If yes, is this support 24/7?
We launched the industry first service initiative of getting to you back when you give us a missed call, and you can avail of this facility at no cost. We have one unified global number from anywhere across the world. Just give a call to us and we'll be there to assist you no matter what.
I have one from Kaushal Raj on Twitter. He says, I did check online travel claim process, very well made. What other unique claim facility do you have coming soon? Thank you, Kaushal, for your kind words. It really helps my team to move to the next level, and it does motivate. Thank you for your kind words. So, Ms. Alvay, any comment that you would have?
Yeah, so in addition to this, what we also plan to do is get the blockchain technology embedded into our claims processes. Today we have it for a trip delay, wherein we take claims to our customers rather than they coming to us and claiming. So going forward, we plan to extend this facility to all other coverages that we have under travel insurance.
That would be interesting, but that I think would make it very transparent, very fast,
right.
Speed of the time process. Good. Shravan from Twitter asks us, how do I lodge a claim when I'm overseas? That's a very relevant question because a lot of people suddenly feel lost if a claim happens. How do you make it convenient that at any time, any place they can reach out? And what precautions should they take? Should they enter your call center number in a mobile when they're going, or what exactly should they do so they can reach out very, very fast when emergency happens?
So I think one tip I would like to give here is, whenever you have a travel insurance from Bajaj Allianz, make sure that you save our missed call number. And all sorts of assistance is provided there. So you need not really worry as to what do I do in case, my laptop is lost or my passport is lost or I face some medical emergency overseas. No need to worry. Just give us a call and leave the rest to us to take care.
Ms. Alvay, I would actually pay the 1,000 rupees just for that number. No?
That's interesting.
Yeah, because see, for me, I think all the millions of covers that you provide, God forbid that we require it. But in emergency, when I'm lost, I would require to reach out to somebody who can provide me assistance in anything that I feel I would require at one time. So I think that number itself would be worth the premium that we pay. But what are the limits that you cover in terms of I think the medical or the PA cover that you have? What is the maximum limit that you can provide cover for?
We have covers ranging from 50,000 to 10 lakh USD.
Yeah, so in Indian rupees, what would it mean? 10 lakh USD
would mean a 6.7 crore.
Okay. So you would provide a 6.7 crore for hospitalization if an emergency should happen. 6.7 crores. And we are aware that in a foreign country it's so expensive, any kind of medical requirement should happen. And you can have a cover of 6.7 crores if things go wrong and you're traveling abroad. So, and as I said, for a cost which is very insignificant if I look at the cost of travel. Samita, she asked from Facebook, is travel insurance compulsory for traveling abroad? Some countries, like Ms. Salve mentioned, it is like for Singhel visa, it will be required. Some countries not, like Far East, if you go, will require it. But as mentioned earlier, don't look at travel insurance just because it's mandatory. Look at it because you find value in it and you feel that it is essential, it's good for you, and that's why you should know buy a travel policy.
And like Sir said, it's mandatory from our perspective.
Yeah, from our perspective, this is mandatory to all countries.
Yeah.
And we have Ashida Alvi from Facebook. And if my travel gets extended due to unavoidable and unexpected situations like bad weather, then how will travel insurance help me?
Oh, so we have a cover for an automatic extension. If you're held back in the country where you're traveling, there's an automatic extension that happens with the travel policy up to 7 days, and everything gets covered at no cost.
See, as I told you, it is good. If I again look at Neeraj is asking us a question from Facebook. If I'm traveling abroad and I meet an accident, will travel insurance help me out with an immediate medical requirement?
Yes, it would. We would not only provide you with the coverage, but we would also ensure that you reach to the safest hospital in the safest hands and do a case monitoring till your discharge. And in case the doctor certifies that you need some assistance overseas, if you don't have a family there, we could even fly a relative from India to the country where you are put up in a hospital.
Yes, I think that would be a great help because my relative would be very worried, and if I'm somewhere stuck and you fly them, I think that's very nice as a cover.
So additionally, if they are traveling with their kids, and their kids need to be brought back to the country of origin, we even give escorts for minors to ensure that they reach back home safe.
And all this for a premium which is just close to 1,000 rupees.
Something that you would spend on a coffee over 2 days?
Yeah. Not even 2 days. I think if I go to an expensive shop, it is just one coffee with a couple of friends. And Ashish has a very relevant question. Ashish Saxena from Facebook. He's saying, do you have cashless network for medical treatment outside India?
Oh yes, that's our biggest USP. We work with a number of hospitals. Like if you take US for an example, we almost have 12,000 hospitals on our networks, which would cover thousands of zip codes, and assistance is provided across the world in a network hospital. For a country like US, we also do something called as cost containment. Cost containment is something that if your bill is to the tune of say 1 or 2 lakhs, we could obviously negotiate with the providers better and get it discounted. How this in turn helps the customers is that in the subsequent years there is no rise in premiums. So that's what we do.
Ajinkya asked again a very relevant question. She says that on Facebook, can I buy travel insurance from overseas for my parents who stay in India and traveling to meet me?
Oh yes, you could obviously do that. Everything, all our sales processes are enabled online. If they're staying in India and traveling to see you overseas, you can buy travel insurance. Yes.
Vinita asked a very interesting question, which I will take. She says on Twitter, she has mentioned this. Sir, I would like to understand, if travel insurance is so useful, why is there not a big adoption rate? Now, Vinita, you asked a question which is a big challenge for most of the boards of insurance company and the CEOs and MDs and the senior management. When I look at insurance products, not only travel insurance, if I look at home insurance, if I look at health insurance, if I look at two-wheeler insurance, all of them are very, very important from an individual perspective. And if I look at the premium for that, it is, as I said, insignificant to the cost of the travel or the cost of the asset which will be there. You'll be surprised to know that the cost of home insurance for you or the contents which will be right from covering from chain snatching to burglary to breakdown of air conditioning cost less than maybe 7,000 rupees a year, which means it will be less than what you pay to your security guard in the society, and he or she may not be there when things go wrong. Or if I look at two-wheeler insurance just for 1,000 rupees, people 75% two-wheelers not insured on the road. I think the concept or the problem that we have overall, as humans, is we don't see the risk, and that is something which we are very, very averse to. So we spend 1,000 rupees on a dinner with our friends, but when it comes to insurance, that is not our top of the mind recall. So I asked a psychiatrist as to why is it that people don't look at insurance, and he gave me a very amazing answer. He said, look at youngsters, in the 20s or 30s, you'll find them that they would be like doing bungee jump, or they would be traveling at a fast speed. And as they get older, the perception of risk they start realizing, and then they don't do stuff which they would do when they're young. the brain is not wired to see risk when it is young compared to the time when they get older. And that is why thinking that something would go wrong is not programmed in the brain to see from that perspective. And this is precisely why the uptake on insurance, and not only travel, most of the insurance is very, very low on the personal lines of basis. And that is why when I do a social event like this, I'm making an earnest appeal that please, please, please look at insurance, look at the cost and look at the coverage, and please be well insured. Because I have seen, and we pay crores of claims in the company, and most of the big files come to me. And when the claims head way back, small files come to me. I've seen what devastation and how people are put back in just a couple of split seconds when things go wrong. And they're covered, at least to a large extent, they're brought back. Otherwise, decades of hard work, decades of collection of assets, or something simply like getting lost somewhere and nobody's able to figure out how to get something done. All that is taken care of. Ask for insurance. Easiest way, if you don't understand, is ask an agent or come to the site Allianz.com. Look at it. If you don't understand anything, you can write to us directly, and I can be very happy to answer your questions and see that we can provide good cover to all of us, which is there. So be insured, be covered, and this is exactly why I think I really liked your question a lot. We move on to Ayushi Junjunwala on Facebook. Do I need to undergo medical test to get a travel insurance?
So we have two kinds of covers. One is with the medical insurance, with the medical test, and one is without. So all you need to do is you got to choose and decide which one you want to take. But if you're of an age of less than 50, then it's not mandatory. We go by utmost good faith by what our customers declare to us.
The utmost good faith is pretty interesting as a word. When the insurance contract is done, I think, and that is where the utmost good faith comes in. Whatever is declared to the customer is taken as true. But if the declaration is wrong at time of claim, that is verified. That is the procedure how the insurance industry works, and that also creates some complication. A lot of people at time of declaring, they overlook things and they just sign the proposal form, and that is where when later on company arises in claims. So if you want your claims to be hassle-free, just do one thing: declare whatever is there honestly in the proposal form, and there should not be an ambiguity there. And I promise you, whichever company you're covered by, there will be no issue in claims as far as this is concerned. I think most of the issue in claims comes because of the disconnect between what is declared to what is at the later stage found out. So that's again a small tip from my side. I've seen people who look at the proposal form. We look at income tax returns, we look at property tax returns, we look at every document which comes to us while we sign, but only when we sign a proposal form which has 4 or 5 lines, that we sign blank, or we don't care to see what is filled in that, or we don't fill in the complete detail, which we should do. So honest request again, take a couple of minutes, fill the proposal form well, declare everything honestly, and I'll be surprised if you have any issue with the claim when it comes through. Okay, so we move on next. Is normal medical admissions covered in travel policy? Amit is asking us from Facebook.
Yes, all kinds of expenses that you incur on your medical necessity overseas, it's covered, even if it means that you have to go and see a doctor on a weekly basis. So it's just not about inpatient, even outpatient is covered.
Mayank asks us, if my trip got delayed due to bad weather, is it covered?
Yes, it does.
From Twitter again.
Yes, it does cover.
Okay, Mike. So you'll be covered if you have a trip delay with bad weather, because that would be one of the reasons for trip delay. It has to be covered. That is what happens most of the time. Now, Suman asks us that how does one figure out how much amount of cover one should take? Is it depend on the country one is traveling to?
Yes, it would primarily depend upon which country you're traveling to, what's the exchange rate of the currency out there, and how expensive is medical expenses there. So these are the 3 factors that you'll have to look in while buying an insurance. Like if I'm traveling to a country like US, it's always advisable to have a sum insured of say 5 lakh and above. But if you're traveling to an Asian countries, then obviously a 1 lakh would suffice. And all our covers are in USD. So when we talk about travel insurance, we are talking of the dollar.
Yeah, and having said that, the way I buy a policy for myself is I look at the cost difference. If it's not much, I actually take the higher cover than a lower cover. So in case of doubt, take the higher cover. Why be less insured? when you can afford a full insurance cover. Sujata asked us from Twitter that burglary of home is mentioned as one of the cover. Under what condition is the cover triggered?
Okay, so while you're overseas, if somebody happens to burgle your house in India and you happen to incur some losses, those would be covered under home burglary insurance.
So is it not so wonderful that while we are traveling abroad and our home is locked, we don't even have to worry about what goes wrong in home. The travel policy also covers burglary in your home back in India while you are on a vacation abroad. And I've seen a lot of these stories come in that please don't post pictures of your travel abroad while you're traveling on Facebook because no burglar gets an idea that you're not at home and the rate of burglary actually goes up. I've read this, I'm not sure on Sassy, but this is what I'm sure all of us have read it in newspapers. And this is precisely why a cover like this is so important, that if you're traveling abroad and something goes wrong in your home, a burglary happens, at least you have a cover provided for in the travel insurance that you take. Then I have a question from Prasad, again on Twitter. Is travel insurance well accepted in the overseas university?
Oh yes, the products that we have for students are very, very extensive. And it also gives the flexibility to students to choose from the various optional covers and riders that we have, depending upon what the university's requirement is. Universities typically ask for maternity cover, a cover for HIV and AIDS, a cover for something to do related to alcohol and things like this. They even ask for a cover for mental disorders, and all of this is covered into our policies. And rightly so, for your question whether this policy is accepted overseas, yes, they are.
And if you look at it, it's such a wide cover. So if you're traveling abroad to study, please take a Allianz cover. It is going to take care of you, away from home, away from parents.
And just to add to it, so we're the market leaders in the student segment, so more so the advantage for you to buy from us.
Yeah, I think we market lead quite a few things, but that is with all the innovation that superheroes like you do for the company.
Thank you, sir.
That is what make a difference to what we do. But I think more than as a market leader in business, our obsession is that we should be the best in terms of claim servicing. And I'm very happy to say that we have been recognized quite a few times as one of the best claim servicing company in the industry. And also we have been rated AAA in terms of our claim servicing ability now for about 12 years in a row. So I think that's what makes me very proud, because our test as an insurance company is at the time of claims, and there we should not fail, come what may.
And that's the moment of truth for us, actually.
And I have Tishla Nair from Facebook asking, can I get a group insurance when I'm traveling with friends, or is it only available for families?
If you're traveling with friends and your group size is more than 7 members, yes, you can avail of a group travel insurance.
And Harsh is asking, is Mediclaim a default in all travel insurance from Facebook?
For now, yes, but from the future prospects, what we plan to do is come up with a completely modular product where each individual will be given an option to make their own plans. So that's what we have in the future.
Okay, good. And Sachin is asking us, who are Bajik's travel insurance assistance partners for claims settlement?
So Allianz Partners are our global assistance partners. They are present in around 211 countries, and their operations had begun way back in 1950. So our service assistance is a culmination of experience, expertise, and excellence.
So you look at a JV partner, it's Allianz. Allianz is one of the world's largest insurance company, and it's present in most of the countries across. And like Ms. Salve mentioned, that Allianz Worldwide Partners, which is a part of Allianz Group, is present in all the countries, providing one of the best services. It is one of the best in terms of providing service and assistance across the world. So you're in safe hands. Don't worry, we'll take care. Pradeep is asking, is there any age limit or entry age for travel insurance?
No, as I've said, we start from a day 0 to 111 years.
Yeah. Ishita has an interesting question. She is asking, is there any specific travel plan designed for the monsoon season?
Not as of now, but our travel insurance offering that we have covers even the eventualities that would happen in the monsoons, typically like all the viruses being up in the air. H1N1 also is covered under travel insurance.
Yeah, so travel insurance for all seasons,
yes.
Including monsoons. Irrespective of what happens, it will take care of it. So please ensure yourself and have a good cover. Amit is asking, is domestic travel insurance really necessary? So can you somebody talk about what all does a domestic travel insurance cover?
So like I've said, domestic travel insurance covers your personal accident, your trip delays, your loss of baggage, your delay of checked-in baggage, loss of laptops, loss of Kindles, and anything that you can think of is covered under your domestic travel insurance policy. And to answer your question rightly, yes, it's obviously necessary when you're traveling, because in case of an eventuality, we will cover you for all the loss that happens.
Sunil from Twitter is asking us, is OPD treatment covered?
So are you asking this in the international context?
Yes. Yeah, it must be international.
Yes, if it's in the international context, like I've said earlier, even OPD expenses are covered.
And I have Ish Chandok from Facebook asking us, what information do I need to complete the online application?
So all you need to have is your passport handy, so you could just input your passport number, and we will auto-fetch all the details required for issuing a travel insurance policy for you. Additionally, you will also have to declare in case you have any medical condition, that makes your claims simpler in the event of a claim subsequently. And
Ashir Sheikh is asking us, does your travel policy cover pilgrimages abroad?
Not in specific, but yeah, since we have coverage that's worldwide, including US, Canada, and excluding US, Canada, and even the other countries, it does. Like your trip to a Holy Land is well covered under the policy.
That's good to know. And Avni is asking from Twitter, I think we answered this before, but since the question is there, I'll ask you again. If one is hospitalized when traveling overseas and doctor advises stay back, is travel or family member covered?
Yes, it does. So we call it a compassionate visit. It's a benefit under your travel insurance policy, wherein we would ensure that your relative or your friend reaches the place of your hospitalization and happens to stay with you there till you're kind of all right. So even emergency hotel extension is covered.
Can I select multiple countries in one policy, or do I need to take one for each country continent? Is asked by Subhuda through Twitter.
So you could have one policy with a geographical coverage of worldwide. So you don't need to actually select multiple policies.
And then Mayur has a very interesting question again on Twitter. In domestic travel, if I travel with taxi or bus, is loss of baggage covered, or is this applicable only by travel via flight?
So if you have a loss of personal belongings covered under your insurance, then whatever you lose while you travel in a taxi or a train is also covered.
So if you look at it, I think most of the questions that you asked, you will see that it's covered, and you see the spectrum of cover, right from loss of baggage, loss of passport, to a golf in one, to a cover where relatives are flown in, to a cover where you have evacuation by helicopters or aeroplane, to a cover where you have provided some emergency cash if required, and all that I said for less than or close to 1,000 rupees, or if domestic less than 100 rupees per trip. I strongly believe that we should be insured. I strongly believe that we should be covered. And travel insurance is one of the most fascinating products that I have seen in my career in the insurance industry. Kind of coverage is provided for the cost it does and the value it brings to people when they're traveling is immense. Any last words that you like to speak before we close this?
Yeah, so I would just like to end this with a story. I know of a family who was wiped off of all its savings that they had over the years, their savings of lifetime, when a medical exigency struck them overseas in the US. So a word of caution from us is that whenever you're traveling, make sure you buy travel insurance.
Yes. So thank you. And as I said, please look into all insurances. Look at the value they bring, and spend maybe a couple of hours in a year to getting yourself covered well and your family members. And if we can provide any assistance, more than happy to do so. You can reach out to us on our website at www.allianz.com and the other means. And if you look at us on social media, be it Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, we're there for you. Be covered, be happy, and we shall be there to take care of you.